Sure. Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Wednesday market call. My name's Lee Honish. I am joined by Fred Solomon. How are you today, Fred?
Oh, good. I just have some barking dogs, you know.
It
Same old thing.
happens. It's the same old every week. Fred Solomon is a broker, specializes in real estate and loans. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and load them up. If you are online watching us on the Facebook stream, that is fantastic. We appreciate that. Go ahead and load up questions there as I share it over to Fred's timeline real quick, because he likes that. If you are here live and you have any questions, go ahead. There are 2 links already up on there that I've shared with everybody. One is to schedule your one-on-one video calls with me, and the other is for anybody who's interested in joining Home Advocates and having a guaranteed marketing method that will get you face-to-face, which is what we talk about usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays. For the last couple of weeks, we've been pivoting because the market has become a buyer's market. We do have videos on those, and we're very happy with the results of those things that we have worked on. You don't see the link, but you've already scheduled your one-on-one. But I will put it, let me see if I've got it. Nope. It's at the very top of the page. I'll get it for you, Tina, because you are special. And so with all of that said, today is a very special day. The Fed's going to raise the rate again. There's the link. Here you go. So let's start right there. The Fed is having a meeting literally in 2 hours to announce, let's all just take a deep breath. They're going to raise the rate, Fred. I mean, it's all over the news. I mean, it's literally all over the news. This is the only thing anybody can talk about. And the Fed's going to hurt Americans no matter what it does. Doesn't matter that we printed money and we gave people money. The Fed doesn't care. Okay. Does everybody actually get, let's start with the basics. Fred, why must the Fed raise the rate and do quantitative easing? It's not that they don't care about Americans. They would gladly print money if the value of money would stay the same. But I think we have a problem with inflation.
That is exactly true. We have a problem with inflation. Some scary inflation numbers came out last week, which is what has caused the rates. We were at 5.875. I just locked in a purchase loan for one of my clients last week at 5.875. I locked in a loan today at 6.5. Rates came up 0.625% in 1 week. To put it into perspective, since we are Facebook Live right now, we did talk about this a few minutes ago before we went live, but I'll say it again. Hurricane Katrina, which wiped out the entire Biloxi and Gulf Coast area. I mean, everybody within a mile of the ocean was basically out of housing. And that in itself only caused interest rates to drop 0.25%, because obviously everybody who was living in that area and had a job, everybody lost their jobs because there's no businesses to go to. So that only caused interest rates to drop 0.25%. We are talking 0.5% in 1 week. These are the highest the rates have been in 14 years right now. 14 years. That's a big time frame, you know? And here we are with the Fed meeting today and yesterday, and the Federal Reserve Chairman is going to be speaking at 11:30 this morning, the Fed Chairman, and you need to listen closely to those words, and the bond market is going to react to those words. And I just talked to a client of mine this morning, because, you know, I have this thing at 9 o'clock that we do, you know, what we're doing right now, these coaching calls. And I wanted to talk to him before my coaching call. And I read an article to him from CNBC that was printed within the last few hours. And basically the article said exactly what I told him yesterday. yesterday I said, it's not how much they raise the interest rates that's going to be the problem tomorrow. What's going to be the problem as far as whether interest rates go up further or come down further is what the Fed chairman says after they raise interest rates tomorrow. And I said, if the Fed says something like, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're having a problem with inflation. We can't seem to get a handle on this. And we haven't had this problem since the early 80s, and we don't know where the rates are going to go and stuff like that. Then by all means, the interest rates are going to go up right after he says that. But if the Fed chairman says something like, hey, you know what? We think, we got a handle on this inflation thing. We think that, hey, this is going to be the last time we're going to raise interest rates, or we're going to be in a kind of wait and see mode and see, what happens to the economy, because we understand that when we raise interest rates today, it doesn't affect the economy for 6 months, and we'll kind of just watch it. If they said something like that, the interest rates would get better. But the article that I read was like, the Fed's going to take a firm stance, which means.
We lost you. No dog barking. Can you hear me? Who can we hear? There you are. We lost you for a second.
Oh, okay. Surprise, surprise.
Nah, no biggie. It happens.
I don't know how long we lost me for, but I had some good stuff.
No, you're right there. And it's exactly what's being played out in the news, right? The Fed is declaring war on inflation. It's what side do you want to believe, right? So honestly, the right perspective, the right, I don't know how to call it, right and left doesn't make sense. Republicans, Democrats, the politicians on whichever side they're on at the moment. One side is saying the Fed needs to aggressively do it, certainly undermines the current administration, and it is what needs to be done. There is no question about that. The other side is playing up doesn't it know what it's going to hurt? Well, the answer to that has been, well, and I don't know if you guys saw this morning, they did one of these was, the Dow rallied 200 points. So I took a look at it just for the sake of doing it. It's still down. It's been down, and this has been going on almost year to date. It's not improving. So now we're getting excited about 200 points up or 200 points down in a day. I mean, look currently where it's at, 30,852. The 52-week low is only 29,653. Now, I'm no rocket scientist, Fred, but those numbers seem pretty much the same. And the high seems to be about the same. They keep looking at these peaks before the quantitative easing started, right? We were on this huge trajectory. Everything was wonderful and skippy and going in a wonderful direction. And now it's going the other way, back to where it was. I mean, if you really look at where it is, you had talked about this earlier. We're going back to pre-pandemic numbers where the market was whatever it was pre-pandemic. I think if the Fed can get back to where everything was prior to, the shutdown of the country, basically, if they can get everything back there, what's that mean for real estate? Well, what were real estate prices like back in March of 2020? Exactly. I mean, let's just start with that. Just take your market, go run the figures. What were the figures March 2020 for your market? I think that's the number you have to look at for the direction of your market. Here in Vegas, it's going to be a substantial hit. In San Diego, which had incredible appreciation, it's going to be a big hit. they're going to be big numbers. And people bought at top of the market because the interest rates were low. Things are out of whack. And clearly the Fed is trying to do one thing, which is get everything back to these pre-pandemic numbers. I mean, that's reality. And I don't know why people don't look at stock markets, right? Where they want to be is right about here, which is where they're at. That you're right there. Where are we? Where's March? You can't because they knew about it there. That's going to be just before where's the pandemic? Right here.
February of 2020.
20, right here. So they knew it. There's the peak, right? And what's that number? 29,102. We're currently at 30. The problem is everybody's still delusional because we got all the way up here to 36 and we were still climbing. And then the Fed got involved right at the end of the year and started quantitative easing. It's going to go back down, back to what it was. And it's propped up on tech stocks. Bitcoin is taking it in the shorts through this process. Feel real bad for everybody, but I saw it over the weekend. Bitcoin's going to rally by $36,000 by the end of the week. Well, the exact opposite's occurring. Bitcoin's going in the opposite direction. My favorite story in the past 24 hours, Compass, which is a tech-based real estate company, they're laying people off, Fred. They're not waiting. They're reducing their position. This is as of yesterday. They are cutting more jobs at Compass.
You know, I'm impressed with that actual company because they do exactly what I do. They do exactly what Robert Fregoso does. They basically fix up people's houses and help them sell for top dollar. That's a smart company. And I don't know what their splits are, and I don't know how their program works, but look how young this kid is.
Yeah. My point is canary in the coal mine, right? So what is Compass doing right now? Well, they're scaling back. They know what's going to happen. They can see the writing on the wall. This kid's not dumb. He's not dumb. This is no different than the Wells Fargo story that turned out to be them laying off senior executives that had high profit margins in loan production, right? Why pay it? We'll just get more people to work that job. People are still going to want loans. We just don't have to pay them triple or quadruple of what we're doing with our, tenured employees. That's going to be a thing. I think the first and as I recall, offering layoffs or people to leave the company always start with people who can be, you can cut the biggest numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not really cutting jobs as compared to cutting big salaries. And you never know with these stories, it's whoever's putting the spin on the story, but it's still occurring. Was it Zillow that got out way early and now it looks like Nostradamus? Well, yes. Zillow got out a long, long time ago. They're still suffering. Everybody in real estate, Zillow suffering, Redfin suffering. Compass is now $2 a share. They're hating life. They were at once a $15. They were on the rise. They were $15 a share. They were killing it. They are no longer that. They are now, what's the term? A penny stock, just about, Fred? Somebody's going to buy Compass. It doesn't have to go much lower. It's starting, unless, if their revenue is really $6.42 billion, right? And I'm looking at a company that's at $254 a share that's bleeding to death. Somebody's going to make a move on them. Much like Zillow took out Trulia. It's just a natural part of the market. But still, Compass, Redfin, Zillow, they're all still losing money dramatically. How about EXP, Tina Hambleton? You know that I'm going to have their stock number up there when I do the market report. They are still hovering at their lowest level. Their 52 low was 1106. They're at 1164. I say this, single digits. EXP is profitable. It's built on a premise that real estate agents go and do real estate. But if there's no real estate to do, which as you can see for this year is kind of a thing, right? Where they started to peter out as the market petered out. The only way EXP can make money is if EXP real estate agents go and do real estate. But that's not what the bulk of them do. They keep recruiting people in that whatever system it is. So to be perfectly honest, if nobody's doing real estate, it's going to hurt a company that makes its profits on doing real estate. They're in an absurd amount of trouble. And if you don't think Gary Keller's not staring at this company, waiting for it to hit a magic number, they almost went up. They got the green light for a quick second there, Fred. And then it ended. They were on the climb. I was excited for them. But I think we can all remember, and look, I was with EXP. I don't have a problem with it. The problem I see with EXP as a company, you have to do real estate to make it work. Compass has to have deals to make it work. Look what it's doing to the company. Redfin has to do real estate to make it profitable. I understand what its revenue is. I understand what it's bringing in, but you have to do real estate to make it work. Zillow needs people in real estate in general and people buying their data or buying their advertising for them to work. And as you can see from the beginning of the year, right? Everybody's taking it in the shorts. I think Zillow's a little more stabilized because they did so much cost cutting last year before this all happened. I mean, they really haven't trailed that far off. They had a great peak month all the way back to $57 a share, but they've kind of been in the 30s for a while now, surviving the summer. Everybody else has been on a slow decline down because real estate, if you are a company based on a market, right? I mean, I could do this with Bitcoin companies or Bitcoin traders or Bitcoin companies that do nothing but buy and sell Bitcoin. I'm sure since companies that sell that kind of stuff, whatever the hell it is, they're going to show a decline since the decline of, blockchain. Blockchain's been declining. So companies that make money on blockchain are going to be companies that lose money. The reason I can show you almost everything from this to KB Homes, right, or Lennar, the real estate market is going in the opposite direction. What makes me crazy is I really did have this. Let me see if I have this. I saved it. Yeah, this incredible piece, September 20, a surprising bounce back, Fred, in new home construction is welcome. By the way, if you didn't know, there were stories literally written yesterday that on new homes that is completely the opposite of what this man just started the sentence with. In August, single family house starts rose 3.4%, thereby stopping 5 straight months of decline. How exciting, Fred. How exciting, right? I don't even care what the rest of it says. That's just exciting because people don't read more than 2 lines of data. Now, let's see what Lawrence is saying about existing home sales in August for himself. In fact, I saw his quote. Here we go. Here's Lawrence again going the opposite direction. The housing market is showing an immediate impact from the changes in monetary policy. Some markets will be, not all, Fred, just some markets will be seeing price declines. By the way, a year ago, that was unheard of. In January, this was unheard of. And maybe even in parts of the first quarter, this was still unheard of to say that we were going to show declines. But we don't have memories that long. Nobody cares about this stuff. And here we are. It's backed up by the Fed. Sales fell. Units are down. This is the slowest pace since June of 2020. That's during the pandemic, which is crazy. Outside of that, this is the slowest pace since 2015. So let's add all this up, Fred. If I am a working real estate agent and I go into my office and I tell my broker, hey, what about all these numbers? It's because you're not out there hustling. Number one message. You're not hustling hard enough to get new listings. That's a lie. That's a straight up lie. What are you doing consistently with your door knocking, your farming, your cold calling, your mailers? What are you doing for your marketing? Again, a lie. You can't have a 1% rate on marketing in a market like this because less people are going to want to sell. Whether or not anybody understands what's happening with the Fed, they're going to know that it's something bad and they're going to hold on to their houses longer. So now you got to talk about trigger points. Well, then it's social media, Fred. What color background should I have on my TikTok to get more people to look at me? Right?
Oh my God.
You've seen it. We've all seen it. I mean, this is if you're talking about 1 million people who are million and a half people that pay money to the National Association of Realtors, right? That declare themselves in this job force. What's being fed to this group to make you want to get up every day and do nothing more? The truth, I picture a lot of people sitting around the office. Well, now at home, we don't need offices thanks to the pandemic that cut down overhead for your brokers. You sit at home and stare at Facebook or Instagram, which are both the same company. I mean, what are we doing that's productive to share this information for the 3 data points, right? We specialize in one, which is missed payments. What are we doing to send a message to people who need to sell, not want to sell? There's not a want to sell group anymore, right? I think people now are going to do I'm going to wait and see what happens to the market. I think people have actually missed the window if they've got $1 million+, $1.5 million+ houses in certain markets. Like, I think they've gone beyond, excluding South Florida. I see it here in Vegas, clear as day. Higher end houses are no longer desirable. The house that a couple of the houses I've been doing marketing for, they're worth the money. I mean, in a hot market, right, where the appreciation's there, but now the market's gone in the other direction. Now rents are coming down. Now you've got all these townhouses and here in Vegas, everything coming online at the wrong moment. The market is starting to flood, and it's happening in other markets. I know Jen's on the call. I know it's happening up in, did Jen leave? Jen's there. Happened up in Boise. There are markets where the market's getting flooded, and there are still opportunities. We just have to think, hello, Jen. We have to think a little differently about the market. And that's not what's being, you guys aren't getting briefings from NAR or your brokers that are positive messages. Certainly not the other coaches. It's always motivation. You guys just lack motivation. That's what it's all about. And being on TikTok. Fred, I'm going to be honest. If you were on TikTok, you'd have listings.
Let's talk about motivation, because this is a really great topic that I feel really good about to explain. And it comes down to how you feel in your body. So motivation comes from within, right? You can go to the Tony Robbins of the world, and some of those things are very effective. But just like at the beginning of the year, when you go to the gym and you get that gym membership, by March, people aren't going anymore. It's a 2-month, and it dies off. And that's the problem with a lot of these, rah seminars. They die off. But what is a constant for me, and it continually keeps me motivated, is doing something that you love. And you really have to like it a lot or love it in order to be motivated naturally. And I'm not talking a rah-rah moment. I'm talking naturally motivated. So if we're talking about the word motivation, my uncle to me said it best. And he played professional golf. He goes, if you don't think we're working hard, you're sadly mistaken. We work our butts off. And he might have used a different word there. What he also
It's a grind.
said,
It's always a grind. It's always a grind. And that's the myth. That's what he's saying. It is a grind.
Right, correct. And he also said, but if you love what you do, it's not really work because you love what you do. I mean, what else would you be doing if you didn't love what you did? What else would you do each day? Like, if I wasn't doing and I told this to my client in Granada Hills, I said, what would I rather do today? You think I'd rather sit home and watch TV and relax? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with relaxing. But if I had a choice to go do an open house at a really, really nice open house where I know that people are going to be oohing and awing when they come inside the door, and I can get potential clients from it. The only thing I hate is going up and plastering the real estate signs around the neighborhood, because that takes 45 minutes, picking them up and putting them out there. But besides that, besides the sign, delivery service around the neighborhood, I'd much rather be at someone's open house or be at my own listing at a really nice open house, getting potential leads and talking to potential clients. I just rather do that. I don't know if I'm crazy for thinking that way, but that's how I think. I'd rather do that. And a lot of people think I'm crazy for being that way, but I don't at all, because I like to be around people. I like to create momentum. I like to exchange my energy, what I feel inside my body, and I like to express that. And I like people to respond positively, and I like to try to get new clients. I like that stuff. It motivates me. So you push the snowball down the mountain, and you want it to get bigger and bigger as it travels down the mountain, and that's called momentum. So when I create momentum, it naturally gives me more motivation. So my life is always about creating momentum, and that's something I really enjoy. Like, when someone says yes, that is a great feeling. Now, it's the law of diminishing returns, because I have over 18,000 previous clients. So I've heard the word yes 18,000 times, but I'll tell you what, I never get sick of the word yes. So I want people to understand, what are the benefits? I mean, like, I can literally be in Hawaii and I can still close deals.
Yep.
I mean, there's not too many jobs that give you that luxury. I can send one of my guys out if we need to do a home inspection. There's a lot of things that you can do if you have a team. It's not just you. You need a team, someone that you trust, so you got to build your own teams inside of your brokerages, so you can have people to help you, so you can have a normal life. So anyways, those are my strong words on the word motivation. And motivation is natural. It's
I
not
agree with
a
you.
rah event. It's, you either like to play golf or you don't. You either like to go out to a restaurant and have drinks or you don't. You got to like what you do. And if you don't like it, you're not going to be good at it. It's simple as that. So in order to be good at something, you either change your perception about the way you feel about something. Like, for example, I had a buddy today, just a real quick 60-second story. He's all, I'm not going to that event tonight, Fred. I go, it's some Palm Springs chamber, taste of Palm Springs, and there's 40 restaurants and there's a lot of people going. And I go, well, if you decide you want to go, let me know. And he goes, I'm not supporting those people. I'm not this, F Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce. I'm like, dude, what are you there for? Are you there to say F you to Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce? Or are you there to go get free food, have a few drinks, socialize, have fun, and enjoy your life? What are you there? And of course, he's a limo driver. So, and he does tours to Joshua Tree and and he does so many things. And I said, what are you there for? Think about what you're there for. And there's a bunch of people that already know you that are there. And so why wouldn't you just go to say hello to everybody and forget the other reasons? Anyways, he goes, you're right, Fred, you're right. And I'm like, okay, so then get that out of your, out of your butt and start thinking right, change your perception on things. It's so easy to do that if people just give you a voice of reason. And yeah, the real estate market sucks right now. Okay, fine, I'm okay with that. But that doesn't mean that if you have a great looking house and it shows incredibly beautifully, that you can't go find buyers for that house or for other people that want to buy in that neighborhood.
Yep.
You just got to change your perception. And that's what it's all about.
Completely
all right,
agree. No, it's fine. Jim Cooper writes, if you don't know your why, then you'll fall in love with the next shiny object. The problem with the shiny object in real estate for all of you listening or watching is there is no easy solution. Much like Fred's analogy of weight loss, it's a grind. You get on a keto diet, you go to the gym, you take the right supplements, you do it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Doesn't mean that I don't come off, doesn't mean that I don't cheat, doesn't mean that, things don't happen along the way. But real estate, more or less, to be successful at it, to consistently, you have to have a plan. And it's got to be, I don't believe it's about, I just don't think that real estate's ever been taught in sort of that linear fashion of step one, do this, step two, do this, step three, do this. Instead, it's, you need this script. Well, if I don't have leads, why do I need a script? You need this CRM. What do I need a CRM for if I don't have leads? Why am I paying you guys this money? Why am I, we have data that will do this for you. It's data. It's not a lead, right? So this is an ongoing cycle. I really, it's September. I want to say it's October for NAR, every time I go, if you really go and you really look at your local association event, see how many are really based on marketing and about getting you in front of people. They're not. There's tools that certainly will make things easier, but in general, there aren't people talking about putting you face to face. I'll end this for the live stream. Just Google Home Advocates, click on it. You wish to join us, click on Home Advocates Coaching and click the Get Started button. There's a brand new video that I put up and everything that's involved in it. We guarantee that we will get you face to face. Works, system works. We have an automated call center now. We actually provide you with your leads at the beginning of each month. You just send us an email. We do 3 of these calls. They're all cataloged. They're all kept. We do yearly events. Once everything settles down, I think we'll go back to monthly events. I'm even thinking of running a monthly marketing event here in Vegas shortly, once it cools down. My God, is it hot here? But all of those things exist within our system. We've been doing it since 2007, and we would love to have you be a part of it. Stop live stream. Stop recording.